Okay, this is for the General Math 7 Chapter 3 study guide. I'll run through how to find all of these answers to help you get ready for your tests tomorrow. Number one, list the coefficients in the expression. The coefficients, as you see, are 2 and 18. So you need to know three terms for your test. Coefficients, constants, variables. So coefficients are just the numbers attached to your variable. So you don't write 2j and 18m, you just write 2 and 18. Those are your two coefficients. J and m are your variables, and the minus 100, so it'd be negative 100, is your constant. Okay, so in number one on this problem, the answer is just 2 and 18, but for your test, make sure you know all three because it could be about any of the three: constants, coefficients, and variables. Number two, list any groups of like terms. Remember, like terms have the same variable attached to them. So number two, 5p and 10p, those are your like terms. And then you have another set of like terms, the 7r and the positive 4r. So you pay attention to your plus signs. If that said minus 7r, then it would be negative 7r. Okay, and then the 12, you see the minus 12. There are no like terms with the minus 12. Okay. We look at the next group of questions here. Number three, you see the answer there. These are like terms, 0.4 and 0.4z plus 0.2z, so you just add them together. 0.4 plus 0.2 is 0.6, and make sure that you put the z with it. Number four, again, we have like terms because they both have the variable b attached to it. So 1.4 plus 0.7 is 2.1b. Again, number five, they both have the variable d. So again, you can use your calculator. 3/10 plus 4/5, type that in with the ABC button. And I got 11 over 10d, which would be the same thing as 1 and 1/10 d. So either answer will be fine. Six, we do have like terms, and we are adding them. So again, just type in your calculator, 5 ABC2 plus 1 ABC3, and your calculator will tell you it's 2 and 5/6, which is also okay. So either of these answers is fine, 17 over 6h or 2 and 5/6h. Number seven, we have like terms, m and m, and this time we're subtracting them. So 1.7 minus 0.4, your calculator will tell you is 1.3m. Number eight, again, number eight there, you have like terms, and we are subtracting them. So you can type in your calculator 20 ABC 24 minus 17 ABC 24, and you get the simplest form 1/8a. Then we jump over to number nine. Number nine, they're asking us to find the perimeter. So they give you just two sides. They give you this side, and then when I solved it, I wrote in this side here and this side. So perimeter is distance around. So if you started, walking, if this was a block, and you were walking around the block in the neighborhood, and you walked all the way around, wants to know how far you walked. Okay, well, you would add all four sides together. So you would add the 2.6y plus the 2.6y plus 10 plus 10. Okay, these are like terms. 2.6y's are like terms, and the 10's are like terms. So you hit 5.2y plus the 20. Number 10, like terms, 1.5y, 0.8y. The 10 does not have a y with it, so it is not a like term. We will not subtract the 10. But we will subtract the 1.5y minus the 0.8y, get 0.7y, and then put the minus 10 after it. We cannot subtract these because they are not like terms. This one has a y, this one has no y with it. It's just a constant. Okay, so your answer is simply 0.7y. Number 11, again, C and a C, and 12 has no C with it, so all we can do is subtract the two like terms, and we would get 3/11C plus the 12. Nothing more to do. Number 12, we have an N, and then an M. So different variables, so we cannot add the N's with the M. So 10N plus 4N is 14N, and then nothing we can do with the 5M, so it just stays minus 5M. And same thing here, these are all M's, so we can add and subtract all of them. So 4M plus 5M is 9M, and then 9M minus 3M would give you the 6M for number 13. Okay, now the back. So expand the expression. We're using the distributive property here. Again, use your calculators. 1/3 times the 3F, 1/3 times the 12. So 1/3 times 3 will give you 1, and then we've got the F there, so 1F. And we don't need the 1 there because 1F means 1 times F, and anything times 1 is itself. So 1 times F is F. And then 1/3 times the 12 gives you 4. So, and it's a positive 4, so F plus 4. Again, distribute out. 0.7 times both numbers on the inside. 0.7 times 1.3W gives you 0.91W. 0.7 times the 0.4 gives you 0.28, and it's positive, so plus 0.28. Make sure you have the plus or minus sign in between the two numbers there. 16, we don't do anything with the 5y right now. We don't add 5y and 7, and we can't add them anyway because they're not like terms. 5 has a y, 7 doesn't. But the 7 is next to the parentheses, so we know we're going to have to multiply the two numbers inside by the 7. So we end up with 5y plus 7 times 2p is 14p, and 7 times the y, which would be 1y. 7 times 1y would give you 7y, so plus 7y. Then we find our like terms. We can add the 5y and the 7y. We can jump over the 14p because everything in the problem is addition. So 5y's plus the 12y's gives, or plus the 7y's gives you 7y's plus the 14p. Okay, and if you had 14p plus 12y, that would be okay as well. 17, we got two distributive properties, 3 times both numbers inside of its parentheses, plus 6 times both numbers inside of its parentheses. So 3 times 2v is 6v. 3 times 3w is 9w. Plus sign, so plus sign. 6 times 4v is 24v. And 6 times w is 6w, and it's a minus sign, so minus 6w. So always be careful and watch your signs there. Then we have like terms. We have 6u plus 24u gives, v gives us 30v. And then be careful here. We have plus 9w, and then we have minus 6w, which gives you positive 3w. So our answer is 30v plus 3w. Watch your signs there. And then the next section, factor each expression. I believe this is just like 3.5, lesson in chapter 3. We pull out their greatest common factor. So we look at 5x and 15, and we find what's the biggest number that will divide both of them. Well, that number is 5. 5 is the biggest number that divides them both. Then you just say, okay, 5 times what gives me 5x? Well, that would be x, or 1x. So 5 times x would give you 5x. Plus 5 times what would give you 15? That would be 3. Okay, so it's the reverse of what we just did in the problems above here, where we are factoring out the expanding the expression. Now we're taking out the greatest common factor, figuring out what goes inside. So 5x plus 15 becomes 5 times the quantity x plus 3. 19, we look at 6q and 18p, and look at the 6 and the 18. What's the largest number that divides 6 and 18? That would be 6. 6 is the largest number that divides them both. And then you set parentheses, so 6 times what gives you 6q? That'd be q. Plus 6 times what gives you 18p? That'd be 3p. 6 times 3p would give you 18p. So it's important that you make sure you pull out the greatest common factor of these two numbers. 20 is subtraction, suggested that you do leave change opposite, change your subtraction to addition, and make the next number its opposite. Now you can see both your numbers are negative, so our GCF on the outside has to be a negative number. So if we look at 2 and 6, the largest number that divides them is 2, but since they're both negative, then we need to have negative 2 on the outside because they have a negative 1 in common. So negative 2 on the outside. Then you say, all right, negative 2 times what will give me negative 2s? That'd be positive s. Negative 2 times positive 1s would be negative 2s. And then negative 2 times what will give you negative 6, and that'd be a positive 3, so plus 3. So as you can see, if we take your answer on all of these that we did, if we distributed them out like we did above, you would get what the original problem was. And that's the idea. 21, we've got 3 terms now. So we look at 4p, 16g, and 8. The largest number that will divide all 3 of them is 4. So 4 goes on the outside. 4 times what gives you 4p? That'd be p. 4 times what gives you 16g? That'd be positive 4g, so plus 4g. 4 times what gives you 8? That'd be positive 2, so plus 2. Okay, so your answer should be the 4 on the outside, p plus 4g plus 2 on the inside. And the last couple problems here. Translate and simplify. 7 subtracted from 4 times p. Remember your vocabulary, subtracted from is one of those flip words. So it's not going to be 7 minus 4p. It must be 4p minus 7. 7 is being subtracted from 4 times p. And again, 4 and the p right next to each other, no dots or x's in between. 39% of m plus 12% of a. Remember, you're changing your percents to decimals. So your decimal on 39%, it would be at the end if you don't see it. And you always move your decimal 2 places to the left to change it to from a percent to a decimal. So we get 0.39 m, where of means you're multiplying them there. 39% of m, so 0.39 m plus 12% of a. So again, change 12% to a decimal would be 0.12 times the a of a means times a. So you just put 0.12a right next to each other, and you have your answer there. 24, multiplying 1/8 of a number is the same thing as dividing it by, and the answer would be 8. So that's always the case. So multiplying by 1/8 equals dividing by 8. They do the same thing. Multiplying by 1/5 equals dividing by 5. Multiplying by 1/3 equals dividing by 3. Multiplying by 1/12 would be the same thing as dividing by 12. Multiplying by 1/2 is the same as dividing by 2. Okay, so as long as that top number is a1 and you're multiplying with that, it's the same as dividing by that bottom number. So if you are multiplying by 1/3, if you want to find 1/3 of something, you can either multiply by 1/3 or divide by 3. All right, there's the answers to your study guide.